Tune into the air, we there's a podcast on the rise. It's the human mean, gonna hit you by surprise. They're talking about the culture, the trends that keep us hooked. With every episode, you'll be laughing off the hook, yeah. Meme it up, get your laugh to flowing. Gotta get those funny bones in motion. Human meme, they're the real deal. Podcast laughter, that's just how they feel. Ooh, baby, meme it up, come on, don't hesitate. Get ready to relate them, make you feel great. Human meme, bringing the memes to the scene. Let's meme it up, living the podcast stream. Meme it up, meme it up, meme it up.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our Crackbot AI research team, we have created an original story for you today about a crow haunting a family. A Shadow in the City, the Harrow family's tale of courage and the mysterious crow. And now the story begins.
Once upon a time in a bustling city, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and the streets hummed with endless activity, there lived the Harrow family. In this forest of concrete and glass, they were a typical urban family, parents working hard to provide for their two children, a life of routine and simple pleasures. However, their ordinary life was soon to be shadowed by an extraordinary presence, a crow. This was no ordinary bird. With feathers as black as a moonless night and eyes that seemed to hold ancient secrets, it appeared one foggy morning on the windowsill of the Harrows' apartment. From that day, it became an unshakable shadow to the family. Wherever they went, the crow was sure to follow. Its cawing echoed in their minds, a haunting melody that seemed to speak of things they could not understand. The family's initial fascination turned to unease, then to fear. This crow was no mere bird. It seemed to know their thoughts, anticipate their movements. Even when they sought refuge in places no bird should find, there it was, perched silently, watching with its inscrutable eyes. Rumors began to swirl among their neighbors. Old Mrs. Leary, who claimed to have the sight, whispered of an ancient curse. She spoke of a distant ancestor of the Harrows who had wronged a powerful witch. As retribution, the witch had sent a crow, an eternal sentinel, to remind the descendants of their forebears' misdeed. The Harrows, driven by fear and desperation, sought to escape the crow's unyielding vigil. They tried everything, changing their daily routines, using different routes for work and school, even moving to a new apartment. But the crow always found them. Its presence was a constant reminder of something unfathomable, a warning of a danger they could not grasp. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the family began to unravel. Sleepless nights spent listening for the telltale caw of the crow, days filled with anxiety and dread. The children's laughter grew rare, the parents' conversations sad and brief. Then, one stormy night, as the family huddled together, the crow appeared at their window, its eyes reflecting the lightning outside. In that moment, the Harrows understood. The crow was not the curse, it was the messenger. The real curse was the fear that had taken root in their hearts, the shadow they had allowed to darken their lives. With newfound resolve, the family decided to confront their fears. They opened the window, letting the rain and the howling wind enter. The crow flew in, perching on the coffee table. The family looked into its eyes, no longer afraid, and asked for forgiveness, not for the ancient wrong, but for letting fear control their lives. The next morning, the sun rose on a city washed clean by the night storm. The Harrow family woke to find the crow gone. Their lives returned to normal, but they were no longer the same. They had learned that fear, Left unchecked can be the greatest curse of all, but facing it with courage can break even the most ancient of spells. And so, the Harrows lived on, their story a testament to the power of facing one's fears, a reminder that the shadows of the past need not darken the present. The crow was never seen again, but its lesson remained with them always, a warning, a challenge, and ultimately, a liberation. As the Harrow family embraced their newfound freedom from fear, the city around them seemed to awaken with a vibrancy they had never noticed before. The children, Amy and Max, started to excel in school, their minds no longer clouded by the shadow of the crow. The parents, Sarah and David, found renewed joy in their work and in each other. Life was good, but the memory of the crow lingered, a silent reminder of their journey through darkness into light. Months passed, and the Harrows began to notice subtle changes around them. Neighbors who once shied away, whispering about curses and bad omens, now greeted them with warm smiles and friendly conversation. The family realized that their struggle with the crow had not gone unnoticed, and their victory over fear had inspired those around them. However, in the depth of the city, in a place where the high rises did not reach, an old forgotten park lay hidden, overgrown and wild. In this park, nature had reclaimed its dominion, creating a small patch of wilderness in the heart of the city. It was here that the crow had retreated to, its task completed. The crow, now just a bird among many, watched over the park with the same inscrutable eyes that had once unnerved the Harrows. But it was different now. It no longer carried the weight of centuries-old curses or the burden of delivering warnings. It was free, just as the Harrows were. One day, Amy and Max stumbled upon this hidden park during one of their urban explorations. They were enchanted by its wild beauty, a stark contrast to the orderly city they were used to. As they played among the trees, they noticed the crow perched on an old oak tree. Fear did not grip them this time. Instead, they felt a sense of kinship with the bird. The children began to visit the park regularly, and with each visit, they grew more attuned to the nature around them. They learned the songs of different birds, the names of the trees, and the patterns of the small animals that called the park home. The crow watched over them, no longer a harbinger of doom, but a guardian of the sanctuary they had found. The Harrows realized that their encounter with the crow had opened their eyes to the beauty and wonder of the world around them. They learned to appreciate the small moments of joy, the connections they shared with each other, and the natural world. Years later, as Amy and Max grew up and moved away to start their own adventures, they carried with them the lessons learned from the crow. The Harrow family's story became a tale told in hushed tones in the city, a modern myth of a family who faced their deepest fears and found freedom on the other side. And the crow, now just a part of the park's tapestry, continued to watch over its little kingdom, a silent witness to the enduring truth that courage and understanding can turn the darkest curses into the brightest blessings. In the years that followed, the park where the crow resided became a sanctuary, not just for wildlife, but for the people of the city as well. It transformed into a space where urban dwellers sought refuge from the hustle and bustle of their daily lives, a hidden gem teeming with nature's wonders. The story of the Harrow family and their encounter with the crow turned the park into a place of curiosity and intrigue. The crow itself became a symbol of the park. Artists would come to paint its wild landscapes, often including the crow perched solemnly in their canvases. Children would look for it, believing it to be a good luck charm. The crow, once a harbinger of fear, was now a part of local folklore, a guardian of the park and its visitors. Meanwhile, Sarah and David Harrow grew older, their hair tinged with silver. They often visited the park, sometimes catching a glimpse of the crow. These sightings brought back memories, not of fear, but of the journey they had taken as a family. They would sit on a bench, hand in hand, watching new families create their own memories. As for Amy and Max, now adults with lives of their own, they carried the legacy of the crow with them. Amy became an environmental lawyer, fighting to protect urban green spaces like the park. Max, inspired by the crow's mysterious nature, became a writer, penning stories that blended urban life with elements of the mystical and wild. The crow, in its own way, continued to influence the lives of those it had touched. For the Harrow family, it had become a symbol of resilience, a reminder that facing one's fears can lead to unexpected growth and transformation. One winter's day, as the first snowflakes of the season began to fall, covering the city in a blanket of white, the Harrow family gathered in the park. They came to plant a tree in honor of the crow, which had not been seen for some time. The tree, a sturdy oak, was planted near the bench where Sarah and David liked to sit. As they shoveled the last bit of earth around the tree, a black feather drifted down from the sky, landing gently at the base of the newly planted oak. The family looked up, half expecting to see the crow, but the sky was empty, save for the falling snow. They took the feather as a sign that the crow's spirit remained with them, a part of the park and their lives. The Harrow family's story had come full circle, from fear to understanding, from darkness to light. As the years passed, the oak tree grew tall and strong, a living monument to the crow and the lessons it had brought. The park flourished, a green oasis in the heart of the city, and the story of the Harrow family and the crow became a tale passed down through generations, a modern myth about the power of courage, the importance of facing one's fears, and the unbreakable bonds of family.
For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a pleasant evening and a better tomorrow. Be a human meme.